All right, Zai, what you thinking?
I'm gonna try to make this short, but I'm gonna try to get to the points. Um, I'm really starting to think that Olivia and Spencer got to break up. Only because I see a lot of times Spencer wants to say stuff, and then he pauses because he doesn't know how Olivia's going to react to it. And I think in the back of his mind, he's still thinking about the fact that she she overdosed, not overdosed, but she was due to drinking, she was doing the pills, so he doesn't want her to go back down that road. So I think he's just trying to play like nice guy and stuff like that, and he's not really like being himself like he used to be, because he's calling him out. He's calling Olivia out on stuff that she need to be called out on, and you don't need to be apologizing for what you say. Like, she didn't live through it. Like, she didn't go through that. She was saying, oh yeah, like $200, students getting like $200, that's nothing, while other people getting this and that. Well, if you in college and the only thing you have is a meal plan, and you don't got no money for nothing other than books, $200 means a lot. Like, that's not. These players are used to getting nothing, absolutely nothing.
Nothing.
So, and I was saying in the comments, the only reason why she's bringing this up is because she thought somebody was coming to, like, stepping on her toes and coming after her man. If Davita wasn't involved in this, would she still be going so hard about it? No, we know this. So,
but then why is she still going so hard after she made up with Davita? That's the part that I don't understand. And I want you to answer that, but I want to also piggyback off of what you said in reference to, for me, I don't like how Olivia is missing the fact that a couple $100 is still something compared to when you got nothing.
Nothing.
I was in a meeting earlier today, and I was talking about my past and talking about being a collegiate athlete. And my freshman year, I walked onto the basketball team, and I already had a full volleyball scholarship, and they offered me a scholarship for basketball too. And instead of me getting 2 full scholarships, which I could have got a refund back and actually been able to get some money, save some money, whatever, they split my scholarship and basically turned it into 2 partials, because at that time, student athletes, collegiate athletes could not be paid to play. But it's stuff like that Neil would have made happen for me, so that if I'm playing 2 sports, I could be compensated like I'm playing 2 sports, instead of me playing 2 sports, doing 2 things in 2 different seasons, doing multiple practices, going through all of the things and getting the same thing that somebody that's playing 1 sport is getting.
Right. Olivia, who has never probably had to struggle a day in her life, doesn't realize that a lot of these players, basketball, football, baseball, whoever, they come from like struggling situations, and they're only, so when they come from like impoverished situations, that $200 would mean a lot to them. And so, yeah, there's people who, like, the bigger you are, you could probably make more, but there's also people who, they're going to make a little less, but that would mean a lot for them compared to what they were getting, which is nothing, risking their career, like, you get 1 bad injury, you're done for the rest, and they take away your scholarship. So at least you're getting compensating for nothing. And this rule is only in place because they just can't come out and say, we want to play, we're going to pay you to play. So this is kind of like their compromise. Yep. It's not like Davita was saying, it's not a system that is perfect, but it's something. At least they're getting something. You know what I'm saying? Yep. And that's what Olivia is not realizing. Like, all right, well, if you take this away, then what? They'll go back to like basically playing for free. Like, that's not good either. So I thought that was cool. I thought about you I thought about you in this episode when it came to Jordan, because it does seem like they're laying the groundwork for him getting a storyline. It looked like he's throwing hands at the quarterback next episode, or that he's gonna have a riff in the quarterback, and I kind of like how they set that up. I guess the quarterback is going to be the villain. Mm-hmm. I don't know, but I'm glad, because it's like he's kind of been like the voice of reason throughout this season, particularly. I don't know where he got all this like wisdom from, Jordan Baker, but
husband life. It's called growth.
Guess he's the only one growing.
I'm not saying Jordan grew, but I wanted to go ahead and get that joke off.
But I mean, he's been the voice of reason for a lot of this season, and what he's been saying to Spencer has been spot on, pretty much. And I'm glad he got his shot. In the game, Spencer made up for his. He made up. I was, that was cute. That was cute.
They showed us that Jordan actually belongs there, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna believe now, okay. Because the way he liked to kick, scream, and whine, I'm just kind of like,
And Jaymee, that's her name, right? Mm-hmm. Asher girl. Jaymee, calling them out for what they had going on at Vertex. Spot on.
It was. And I feel so bad for preemptively, girl, we don't want to hear it because they needed to hear it.
But it's because when you sit back and think about it, Asher is chilling with two of his exes. And there's no problem with that.
Two of his exes, one of which he said was the love of his life that he just smashed about a month and a half ago.
And then you bring your new girl to that?
And these my homies. Y'all giving y'all on a break and y'all haven't hit the spin on the rotation yet. And now you're trying to bring more people into the bunch.
And Patient and Coop, they're exes too, so can we get new friends? I see Coop trying to.
That's why Davita don't need to be their friend. You don't need to be at that beach house, baby.
But you
that beach house.
Are they setting up Coop for a love interest?
With
a new love interest? Yeah.
Child, I wasn't even paying her no mind.
She gave the alley-oop. I don't know if Coop gonna make the dunk, but
maybe. Is that what Jaymee was also alluding to in the fact that she was fine? Because I was like, she also straight girl sees to me, so I was like,
Yep, she gave that alley-oop. Like, you can hit me in my DMs anytime or whatever. Like,
yeah, she did say that. So, okay, going back to Olivia real quick, because I don't think I gave you a chance to speak. What do you think is the reason why she is now focused so much on the nil deal? Is it because to me, Davita is not the thing anymore. Now that she has gone and made peace with her, invited her to the beach house and everything, she shouldn't be the thing.
I think she found a different angle that others weren't writing about. But the problem that she does with a lot of this stuff is she doesn't realize the consequences of putting out said information. So when you're a journalist, you have to realize, all right, if I put this information out, are my sources, am I compromising my sources? You're compromising your sources and your brother. That's the person who gave you this information. And so is it worth that, tackling this issue just to get in good grace at her job?
And is it that she doesn't realize it, or does she not care?
No, I don't think she realized it. I don't think she realized the backlash is about to happen. She gonna realize the next episode. Okay. But I don't think and it's the same thing. I think that's always been her thing. She doesn't think about that stuff. She's like an impulsive.
She released that tape. She knew. She didn't care.
But she didn't realize how much it was going to come at her mom, how much the death threats was going to come at her mom, how much it was going to really affect, her mother. I don't think she realized that. She was, concerned about, she was going to do it probably, if she had a choice, she knew what she knew, she knew that it was going to come back on her mom and stuff like that, I don't think she would have released that information. So, I don't think she knew. But I don't think she thinks these things thoroughly before doing. She's a very impulsive person.
And that's what I've been asking her to be better at. This whole time, I'm like, Olivia needs to think. She is too smart to not be thinking.
Now, she thought about it when they had that moment, which is probably the best episode in All American, Vegas episode. Mr. kissed her. She thought about the consequences of that, and she walked out on him.
I don't agree.
You don't think she thought about that? Thought about how much it was going to.
That she said was the reasons after the fact she came up with after the fact. I feel like she ran from happiness in that moment. I don't think that she was thinking about anything else except for she don't deserve.
But she did mention Asher and Layla.
She said, I can't go back to Vegas.
Okay, leave it alone. But I'm
I
just saying.
don't believe that she was so concerned about Asher and Layla in that moment, and she just couldn't. Like,
Okay.
It was a cute, convenient excuse to me.
Just true. Okay, but so we'll leave
I
that
got
alone.
hella videos on it, so if you really want I'm gonna have to actually go back and see how I worded it. But I still stand 10 toes down to this day, and I will never go back and watch that Vegas episode ever.
Oh, I rewatch those episodes about Vegas all the time. Like that's still
Why?
today. It's still my best episode. Like I love that episode, and I also love your take on the episode. I know you get emotional when you have to read.
I ain't going there.
But overall, I thought this episode of All American, it was like, all right, you starting to pick it up. You starting to get the reels turning. It wasn't like All American Homecoming just destroyed this episode of All American. It was like, all right, I see where it's going.
Yeah, and I think I'm kind of getting used to the whole neat button up story at the end. Like everything felt like, okay, everything is fine. And it's like, all right, it's gonna be fine.
But they did leave something that goes into the next episode.
Yeah, they did.